Let's pull this up. It says WUT, or like I said, if you're German, WUT, Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And here's the reference. We're going to jump right into this. I think I'm just going to do the classic Control F. If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. So just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure. I don't want to spend the whole day reading this, but here's the list. Digital Assets Markets Subcommittee, DAMS member appointments. Ton mentioned here. I mean, yeah, we're going to get to the stellar part. But look what is also mentioned here, right? BlackRock, BNY Mellon. So you guys pointed some of this stuff out. CME, Crypto.com, Franklin Templeton, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, JP Morgan, NASDAQ, Polygon, and of course, Stellar Development Foundation, Adam Minehardt, head of U.S. government relations. That's bullish, man. We talk about some of the decision makers. Again, when I was doing the Jasmine coverage, I was talking about Genki Oda over in Japan. I will use this example again. But, he's part of the FSA, right? He's a decision maker. Well, what about over here in the United States and so on? Yes, you have somebody who is a decision maker, and he's part of this right here. Adam Minehardt, head of U.S. government relations. That's pretty darn huge. So I'm glad to point that out. Let's get into a little bit more of what we have. I want to share this, and this is in regards to Axios. And you may be wondering, what the heck is Axios? Well, Axios is a project that we should pay attention to, especially if you're into Stellar, okay? So, you may be wondering, well, like it says, this is a very boring project. No, it's not. So it says, why does this matter? Well, why does this matter to you? It says this new product has been approved. It would give the crypto-rich and blockchain-native funds a way to access strong returns on government debt right now without changing their approach to portfolio management. Do you see where I'm going with this? Remember how many times Mr. Elon Musk or Elon Muff, Mike Cornwell, talked about, Ripple, for instance, taking on the debt. We talk about ODL especially, right? Well, what about like a project built on Stellar taking on the debt? Is this not bullish? I think it is. So, for instance, this is going to take on the government debt right now without changing their approach to portfolio management. It says, for instance, colleagues from Compound Labs have filed to launch Super State Trust, which would steward a new mutual fund pending regulatory approval, called the Super State Short-Term Government Bond Fund. In regards to Super State, they have raised $4 million in seed money from leading investors in DeFi, Parify, Capital, and so on, like you see here. And it's a prospectus for the bond fund with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay, so don't really see the SEC going after this, right? It says, in the weeds, the fund would buy short-term government debt and allow users to track debt as a token on different blockchains, starting, for instance, with Ethereum. There's more to this. Leshner tells Axios that this initial version of the product won't have any of the typical bells and whistles of DeFi. All will be good for is holding a share in the fund. Every person who does hold it will have to be whitelisted, approved to own the asset, and Superstate isn't going to whitelist smart contracts like Uniswap, for instance, or Compound, so it will be usable by such applications. That's pretty big. Shares can be held on-chain, but they can also just be held in a brokerage fund like any other mutual fund. How about this part? What are they saying? The benefits is that you are a crypto native firm that only deals with crypto native infrastructure. You'll be able to hold this alongside your other investments. I mean, we talked about all sorts of different ways of, holding on to your investments for long term and so on. We talk about I trust capital, but this is obviously way different. Taking on the US debt. Like, there's one thing about it being a speculative, like we talked about in the past, like, well, here's these concepts. Well, then now enter in, for instance, Axios, concept becoming what? Reality. Okay. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys' attention. Customers will access 2 yields on US debt. This is why some people feel as though, like, when we're talking about like some of these things, why are we lowballing some of the connections? For instance, when we're talking about Stellar, like, some people are like, man, $100 a Stellar would be huge. Yeah, I'm telling you flat out, if we're taking on the debt, $32 trillion on debt and earning a yield on that, you don't think that's going to be big for whatever underlying asset that's involved in some of this stuff? I think it's pretty darn big. What we are watching, look at this. Boring is kind of the point of the first fund. But if it's approved and government regulators become comfortable with this approach, one could imagine that the future could open new use cases for real-world assets tracked on a blockchain in a regulated instrument. It could be particularly potent if one day a regulated exchanges trading at multiple blockchain assets. Multiple blockchain assets giving you access to yields for the US debt of 32 trillion and rising. We just increased the debt ceiling not that long ago, did we not? Look at this, guys. Catch up fast. The team behind Superstate is basically looking to give DeFi investors an easy way to access real-world yield. Previously had been running Compound Treasury, a bid to give normal investors access to DeFi yields. Compound Labs has continued under a new leadership, but they would down the Treasury product with his team departure. Look at this quote. The market for Treasury basically changed following the implosion of Celsius and Genesis. I mean, everything kind of got messed up with all this stuff. Where it stands, Superstate is waiting for a green light, which might not come, but if it does, it is basically likely to take several months. Encouraging for teams in this space, U.S. regulators have approved, listen to this, blockchain power products from Wisdom Tree and even Franklin Templeton. Of course, there's a lot more to this, but here's the juicy stuff, okay? And I'm not going to read every single thing because there's, like I said, more to it. This person, right? Here's another app for investing in things like stocks to Bitcoin, Crystal writes. Driving the news, asset manager Wisdom Tree is poised to roll out its Prime app in a few weeks, featuring investments from every asset class with choices from gold to Bitcoin. How it works, and here again is the magic moment. It's powered by the Stellar blockchain's code base. Like, is anybody paying attention to this stuff? Think about how many people are watching all the garbage meme token crap right now. This is where the real money's at. This is where the real money is for that. I'm going to come out of the frame for a second on this one. I mean, my God, this is stuff being confirmed that's no longer speculative. I think I need to blow this up a little bit more. Yeah, I do. Let me blow this up just a lot more. Powered by Stellar, blockchain codebase, a long-running system built for snappy transaction confirmation. It's like many of the other investing or personal finance apps out there per the demo Axios received. It's a sleek overall, there are charts, there's all sorts of stuff. I don't know, man. I just think I think it's huge. And, there's a lot of other things mentioned here, but Axios, when we heard about the concept of like Ripple's XRP taking on the debt of, the concept of taking on the US debt or taking on, the debt of the world, technically speaking, right? That's obviously a big deal. I'm not dismissing that. But there's another thing to actually see a project being utilized here with Axios.